I was saying that concentrating on music is definitely a distraction from the horrors of politics that threatened our existence. I'm not. I'm very aware of that. Nonetheless, it's beautiful, and as a musician that I respect a lot says, nobody gets hurt. Today I wanted to pay homage to this great musician, Sly from Sly and the Family Stone. Excuse me. Here, this. Is that true? Well, I'll do what I can. So, Sly was unique and had an immense influence on jazz rock, and especially through Miles. So he had that special groove, this deep groove with the bass that Miles adopted through Michael Henderson mostly, and added to that these syncopated rhythms, these complex rhythms that made Sly and the Family Stone so recognizable and unique through the work of Graham, who is credited for inventing or popularizing the slap type of bass playing. And in songs such as Everyday People and others that are more direct, he addressed racial injustice in his country and in general. Sometimes when I was listening as a kid to the lyrics of Everyday People, I didn't know if he was making fun or he was talking about something that he would like to see happening. And to this day, I have this feeling that I didn't really understand it. Maybe the company wanted him to do something appealing to everybody and be colorblind, and his response was a mockery. I don't know. In any case, it's a fantastic song, and both interpretations, if you wish, would be welcome in their own way. His influence in Beaches Brew is possibly strong, but definitely on the corner and work that followed. He blended funk, soul, rock, and psychedelic music at the same time, which we wouldn't see something similar until Prince. In that sense, he was a precursor of Prince. And the soul came because he had an upbringing of gospel musician. And his incorporation of electric guitars electric keyboards and electric bass and mixed group with women, blacks and whites, was also a great novelty, groundbreaking at the time. So he was that type of musician who believed in its universality and desire to appeal to everyone, that good music could reach anybody. In that sense, he was very anti-elitist. The elitist thing that only people who studied a lot and are able to analyze and etc. Unless you reach those levels of training, you cannot appreciate the music. To me, that's not true. There are two different aspects to music. Even you can see that among the performers. Jazz musicians sometimes when they see transcriptions, they are surprised by what they've done. I said, I didn't know I was doing that. And so anyway, it's a discussion that maybe needs more time, but I think that with the model that I presented of the multifactorial and how many factors come into the value that we associate to music, it's pretty clear that Sly, Miles, and others have a strong point with the universality. And also, his music was very dance-oriented, so that was very attractive to many of his followers, including Miles, who wanted to have the funky grooves in some of his tunes. For example, let's say in Black Satin or Mile Runs the Voodoo Down and others of that period. So the records are still here. He had a difficult life, like many artists that reach a very high level of success very early. The pressures are incredible from the companies, and then they live in a world of internal doubt between commercialization, doing their own preference, comparison with others. It can drive crazy the majority of persons. So he was a genius, and that's the way he should be remembered. He changed the face of the music in the 60s with James Brown and Jimi Hendrix. That's enough with regard to slide. I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk about James Bond. That needs more time. I don't like James Bond. I think, I kind of enjoy some of the movies. I should be honest, like Quantum of Solace, because of the political background of the music of the film that is not these group of terrorists that want to end the world, or some plot that's totally a fantasy, or a cabal of rich people that want to have the nuclear war to end the world. When the countries are already at the edge of destroying the world, these fantasies appear more and more unreal and silly. If they ever had any sense, like with Goldfinger, who actually was entertaining. Goldfinger, I think, is the one with, there was an assassin that was using his hat. That was something you will remember. But I enjoyed that a couple of Daniel Craig because of his attitude and quant of solace because of the politics involved in it. Now, on the other hand, I think it's very passé, a British white man representing the ultimate seductor, attracting women from all over the world, being the reference of beauty and manhood, acting as if the UK were still the greatest empire on earth, I found a little bit silly, frankly. But the politicians do the same, so it's not more silly than the reality of what happens in the UK, right? We are not in the times of the Queen Victoria. At least it's been 1 century since the UK lost any geopolitical relevance. And what happens is that James Bond has a grain of truth and reinforces the integration between the US, British, and French so-called deep state and MI5 that really can have an effect on real politics, and sometimes more than the elected officials. So in that sense, there is a grain of truth, but this image of the UK being still the great empire, and I found it quite silly, and it emboldens persons to have an attitude of overconfidence and I would say entitlement that's not well, it was never earned, because colonialism is not a way to earn your standard of living, what some call the imperial model of living. But it's kind of clashes with the reality. And in that sense, it's not very healthy. And I say that I have a contradiction, because I kind of enjoyed at least one of the movies that I've seen with that so-called hero. So here are my thoughts. If I had a list of James Bond movies, of course I like Sean Connery the best of all, I imagine because he's Scottish, but it's Daniel Craig and Quantum of Solace, but really I wouldn't like any of them a lot, which would be more like entertainment than great enjoyment. So, as you can see, my response to this cultural issue is linked to politics and economics, concretely imperialism. And if you look out now in the world at the major focus of geopolitical trouble, they come from the British Empire, India, Pakistan, this border, or China and India, another border drawn by somebody in London who never stepped in the Himalayas or in India or Pakistan. Another place, the Middle East, powerful declaration. Also, Ukraine, of course, all the Lord Palmerston desire to block Russia so it would not have access to the Black Sea and do commerce. So I don't have a lot of desire to enjoy James Bond. That's the truth. Thank you for listening to my analysis and film analysis, and of course, many will disagree because they'll see it in a different light, but at least for those who never heard this type of analysis, I hope that it would make you think at least, same way that I am enriched by persons who think differently. So thank you so much, and until the next one.